Yeah, that's right. Well, welcome to the podcast, everybody. The big news is the death for this show, Sam Simon.
Do you want to do introductions?
What?
You didn't do it. You just skipped
No, everybody knows who we are. Plus,
are.
Our names are below us.
Below us.
Okay.
Although my name here
His
is
name is Dick.
His name's Dick.
Dick.
Our names are going to
Your
come
name
up
is
as
7
titles.
Days.
No, I'm not saying on our shirt.
Okay,
like,
so I'm
there's a
starting at
graphic.
the beginning. I'm starting that shit over again.
Sorry.
All right. Well, we always start out the podcast with a death. This show.
Wait a minute, we've murdered someone?
Yes.
We always kill somebody.
Seems to be a tradition.
Sacrifice them to Dagon.
Someone has to die for the show to start every time.
In this show, Sam Simon died.
Sam Simon was one of the 3 original producers of The Simpsons.
Who the fuck was Sam Simon?
Sam Simon was one of the 3 original producers of The Simpsons.
I think he just said that, Emery. You kind of missed your cue.
Damn it.
Emery didn't know who Sam Simon was before today. We got that out of the way before the show.
I don't know. There's a difference between not knowing who someone was
And not
maybe,
caring.
and not caring or forgetting. I'm sorry, Sam Simon. I'm sorry. I just didn't know you by name.
It's okay. He didn't know you either.
No, exactly.
So-
Exactly. He wouldn't give a shit if I died.
But Simpsons, is still going.
Definitely.
Fucking, I watched that when I was a youth. Which
That was
so
the
long ago.
1800s,
The
man.
1800s. The Simpsons has been around for 200 years.
Yeah.
And despite what some people might think, it's still funny.
Is it?
Yes!
I haven't watched The Simpsons in a very long time, but I don't watch anything on network TV.
Well, I
so
think people are watching Bob's Burgers now. I think that's the big
Bob's
one.
Burgers is pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
It's very good.
I don't know what to say except maybe a little reminiscing about your favorite Simpsons bits. Does anyone remember when Chief Wiggum was trying to sing, and he said "mo me mo mo, mo me mo mo"? Oh, I just love that part.
This is
Nobody ever remembers it.
This
don't
is not the
remember.
death of The Simpsons. The Simpsons will continue.
Reminiscing because he fucking worked on the show.
He did, but...
Okay, you remember that time that Sam Simon gave all of his fortune, his vast fortune, to protection of animals and animal rights, and
That actually did happen.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like that's the thing.
That's what I was
Mo
going to say.
me mo mo, mo me mo mo.
See, we don't have any personal anecdotes about Sam Simon, but we have plenty of personal anecdotes about The Simpsons, which is one of his greatest
And
contributions
so this
to
is
humanity.
the way we celebrate his life.
Exactly.
Okay.
His
All right,
accomplishments.
go
in
ahead.
life.
No, I'm quite lowbrow. Anybody? Anybody?
That
So
was good. Do you remember the part where Christopher Walken was reading "Goodnight Moon" to the children, and they were terrified of him?
I don't remember that, but
I
I bet we could
With
recreate
Jay
it.
Moore's terrible Christopher Walken
Yeah.
impression.
Good night, moon. Good night, cow.
Yeah, that's
Good
what it
night,
sounded like.
sunshine, stars. Yeah, I
back-
love Jay Moore. But
No, I like him too. I just
Yeah.
don't think his impression of Walken is
yeah,
very
his
good.
his impression of Walken is fortunate because he was in a film with one of my favorite films with Christopher Walken, Suicide Kings. So if you haven't seen Suicide Kings, check that out. You can see Jay Moore in a movie with Christopher Walken, and that's why he does the impression, because he was in a movie with him.
Right.
How?
Everybody who does movies with Christopher Walken impersonate him.
They're cutting my fingers off, Ira. They're cutting my fingers off.
What are some of the other good moments from The Simpsons? I mean,
Oh,
there's
we're
the-
talking about Sam Simon still.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Which you always get wrong.
I know. I've been
Nuclear.
poisoned by a certain president.
There's been nuclear.
Atomic.
There's been a nuclear comment. Nuclear. There's been a serious testicular cancer. There's been a Fergie Google.
Now, don't you also kind of do a Bush a little bit? I thought you did a little Bush impression.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You do an impression of somebody. I
Sean
thought.
Connery.
I do Sean Connery occasionally.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I think perhaps we should have a little Sean Connery off.
yes.
Yes.
If you think you're man enough to do it, let's go right ahead.
Your mother thought I was man enough.
Your grandmother thought I was man enough. Where do you think your mother came from? I put your mother in your grandmother.
I can't wait till the super fans point out that we did that on a Beer and Board Games episode.
We did.
We sure did, but not with
It
you.
was me and Qasim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks, Sam Simon. We got off on a tangent there, but your work has really influenced us and many others, and you're cool.
You were a good dude.
Yeah.
Godspeed, sir.
So next up, Comcast. If you have Comcast as your service provider, they have decided to block the HBO Go app on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, citing business reasons, which most people chalk up to bullshit. Which is interesting because no one else is doing that, and apparently doesn't affect the Xbox One or Xbox 360. The general consensus is they want Sony to pay for the right to have the app not be blocked by Comcast services.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And I think this is a brilliant move on the part of Comcast in their efforts to maintain their rank as the most hated company in the world.
They're pretty up there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm David McGinley, the CEO of Comcast, and I've read some of your emails, and allow me to stab this kitten in the eye with a pen while I answer all of your... Oh, I've been handed a tiny sword by one of my many... So this kitten... the emails that you have given me, they... I agree. Yes, we should be looking at the PlayStation. Oh, it's dead. Let me get another one. Hold on.
I use these as toilet paper.
I like to wipe my ass with the kittens that I've murdered. Oh, I killed it. I got another one. Okay. I have an unlimited supply of these. I get them from the gentleman that runs Charter Communications. I hate you.
Oh.
I wish there was such a thing as Comcast apologists.
There will be. There will be. There will be.
Like comment on this, but I don't know. I just think it's really. I mean, we've kind of made the point on this, but what also is, if you want to go into what a company making a move that seems pretty disturbing, HBO Now, which if you don't know what that is, it's coming out at the same time as the new Game of Thrones season.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was really, really excited about until I found out that you can only watch it on Apple devices.
Yeah, HBO Now is it's kind of like a Netflix kind of thingy where you get to stream HBO things, but you don't need to have cable.
You don't have to pay, $150 a month for cable. Instead, you can just pay $15 a month.
Yeah.
Get HBO Now and just watch the shows from HBO that you want to watch.
That's the difference between HBO Go and HBO Now. HBO Go requires a pre-existing subscription, which actually has to do with what Comcast is doing, but we can talk about that in a bit.
But you could buy an Apple TV unit, sort of like a Roku or whatever you want to call them, and then you could buy one of those. What are those around? $80?
They're 70.
They're dropping the price.
Okay. Well, that's, you know what? It's not a bad idea because you still get access to a bunch of different stuff that way.
And the thing is, it's just a launch exclusive. Eventually, you're going to
sure.
be able to get it on other things, but just for the launch, which unfortunately coincides with the fucking release of the next season of Game of Thrones, which is the reason why people would want it.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just really frustrating because Game of Thrones, I look forward to it more than anything all year, and I just wanted it to be easy for me to watch it. I don't want to have to fucking go through a bunch of bullshit. I'm not going to buy the Apple TV because I don't want it. Why can't I just watch it on iTunes like I do like The Walking Dead? Why do I have to go through a bunch of rigmarole to have to buy something special just to watch Game of Thrones?
Right.
Because if I'm going to pay $70 for the Apple TV, then I'll just wait for the fucking show to come out on DVD and buy it that way and watch it in really good quality, whenever I want. And I'll have a physical copy of it too.
Blu-ray, man. Get it on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, you don't want to
get it on Blu-ray.
You
Fine.
should get it on VHS tapes and watch them on your VCR.
That would be so hipster. I'd love to do that. That would be way fun.
The audio quality is so much better on VHS.
Oh, definitely.
Better.
I'm going to get a vinyl that's just the audio of Game of Thrones and play it on my, what are those called? The vinyl
Record
players.
player?
Record player?
Yeah, you're really into this shit.
Yeah.
Phonograph?
I'm a young
He
man.
doesn't even know what it's called.
I'm gonna get this show on an Edison wax recording tube.
I'm gonna play on one of those things. What are those called? A homeless person.
Just put.
From the 1930s.
Oh shit!
I can't help it. I can't even try to be a hipster.
You're doing okay.
You're good
Yeah.
there.
I thought you had a question for them.
Oh yeah, what is with the beards? Like at what point? Because I can grow a beard. I have grown beards, but I've never grown a beard to the extent or exciting level that you guys have grown your beards. Especially you, Emery, because you seem to have more of a frontal form, whereas Adam's kind of got a neck beard thing happening here, sort of under here. This
I
thing.
don't really get it because it like goes down and then all of a sudden it goes whoop, like, it goes out.
I don't maintain it very well.
Two-tiered or just laziness?
Well, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to explain this?
Well, okay, so I just decided at one point to just keep growing my beard and see kind of like what would happen to it.
Sure. You've seen pictures of ZZ Top and things. You kind of know.
Why not? I mean, like, okay, so my dad is Middle Eastern, and Middle Eastern people, stereotypically have beards or whatever, and it's just kind of like in my genes, I guess you could say.
Sure.
And I figure since I have this wonderful gift of the ability to potentially grow a big beard, I should at least fucking try it. I mean, I'm young, right?
Yeah.
And see what goes. And so it got long enough, and it got kind of scruffy enough that I decided I was going to go to like a legit barber.
Sure.
Most people just go to like a hair cuttery, and that's what I would do. Like go to just a stylist.
Great clips.
Great clips, yeah. And I decided to go to an actual barber, and it costs a lot of money, but they know what the fuck they're doing. And so now I'm kind of doing like the maintained, beard with like you get a special comb and all that kind of shit. And it's not because I'm a hipster or anything. No. Like I grew this beard. Like, I started growing it as soon as I could, back in fucking, like, 05, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I kept it kind of short, but it was only a few years ago, no, actually, less than a year, that I decided to actually grow it out.
Yeah, because it's pretty lustrous.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a nice...
He does wax it.
Yeah, I use wax occasionally, mostly just oils.
That's fair.
Different oils. I had 10W30. a little synthetic in there now and then. Chicken. Fried chicken.
Just get bacon, just kind of like the grease.
Yeah.
By the way, can you put in the little bar at the bottom of the screen, like make a separate spot for this discussion and call it beard explanation?
Okay.
Instead of Comcast.
Beard explanation.
It'll be Comcast beard explanation Comcast.
All right. So, what about Adam?
All right. So
story of Adam's beard.
My beard. All right. I've been shaving. The first time I ever shaved was I was in the 5th grade.
Oh wow.
Like I've been shaving for a long damn time.
And it wasn't his face either.
Yeah, that goes back even further. Now, so I had to start shaving regularly by the 6th grade, and I just really got fucking tired of it by the time I was in high school. And when I was 16, I just said, fuck it, I'm not shaving anymore. And I grew a full beard. I was the only 16-year-old walking around with a beard about this big. You can even see old high school photos I had. And then eventually I realized that's fucked up. Why am I doing that? So I started shaving for like a decade. I went without it. And then at one point, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, fuck it, I'm not shaving anymore. And now all I do is occasionally maintain it.
Sure.
That's it. But I don't do a very good job of that. I don't use the fucking oils that this dude does. But props to you. I don't have the patience. I want to do as little as possible. And it shows, because it's all the fuck over the place.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. But occasionally I do go to, when I get my hair cut, which is very overdue, I also have them trim the beard. Okay. And then it looks nice for like a week. And then it goes back to being who gives a shit.
Because when I've grown a beard or two in the past, I've enjoyed like shaving this off and then having the big mutton chops, the General Burnsides sort of deal going on there. And so, why don't you do that? Why wouldn't you try that?
Because I don't want to look like I'm an old photo from the 1800s.
Why not? That's fun.
The only maintenance I do on it is that every once in a while the mustache gets into the mouth, and that's just irritating. So I gotta trim it a little. And like, there's a certain line. Like, I trimmed that because it just looks weird.
Yeah, I can't stand cheek beards. Trim your fucking cheeks,
That's the only part I do maintain myself. Occasionally, there'll be, like, a clump that'll just come out, and I'm like, all right, go.
All right, so, like, the real reason why people like us have beards is because our chins.
Oh, that is also part of it.
That's the reason.
That wasn't really that much of a motivation, but I realized... See? I too realized after the beard was back, I was like, "Oh right, I looked a lot better when you couldn't see this like fat thing." That was like,
we finally get to the truth of the matter.
That's the reason.
Well, this has been the least fascinating discussion I've ever heard.
Yeah, because you have peach fuzz doesn't mean that.
I'm sorry I didn't ask you about your beard.
I don't want to talk about my beard, although I do want Morgan Freeman to give his opinion on their beards.
Your useless peach fuzz.
Shut up.
Somewhere deep in the heart of the human subconscious is a part of our souls that finds beards repulsive. These parts of our souls look at folks like Emre and Adam and think, why the fuck do you got a beard look like that? And then You're making a lot of noise, stroking your beard.
Disturbing.
I'm
Like
doing
probably all kinds of mites coming out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Some,
that's gross.
Some manner of boogans.
All right, I think that's enough.
Anyway, back to Comcast.
All right,
I think we're done with Comcast.
Actually, there is one point about
real
that.
quick, make that point.
Well, all right. So the point about Comcast is that part of the reason that they're also doing this is because in the U.S. we kind of get fucked by our internet companies where they kind of make you have internet, TV, and phone all as one system, and if you only want one of those things, they typically charge you more than all together. Now, if people could just get HBO Go, studies show that most people wouldn't bother with getting TV packages. Nobody would care about that. So they have trouble selling you all these things together. Hence, they're trying to block out the access to HBO Go, especially to people who haven't upgraded to their cable package.
Yeah, instead of cable companies just negotiating a deal where they can offer you a la carte channel packages. And some of them are starting to do that, and they're starting to look at that as a viable source of revenue. But, you know, that happens to a lot of companies. That happens to a lot of different companies that their current model, the shareholders are making their money, and they've got infrastructure set up. And it's tough to change gears. It costs a lot of revenue to do that.
Yeah, and it's it's the age-old capitalist tactic, which is that if your customers want something better, then instead of offering them the better thing, you try and fuck them out of all their money.
That's classic capitalism.
It is.
Yeah.
We are not communists.
The beards make it seem like they are, but they're not.
Oh, Comrade Emery, tell me more about
About the one-party system.
So anyway, the opposite of communism, Apple Watches, sort of bridges from HBO Now, which we were talking about 10 minutes ago. So I think I heard they're like $10,000 for an Apple Watch. Is this true?
What does it do?
It's like an iPhone on a watch.
There are various versions of
Goes
this
on
thing.
your wrist.
They're at different price points.
I tell you what it does. It goes on your wrist, and then when you walk out,
Sold.
when you walk outside in
Oh.
public, it gets immediately stolen off your wrist and sold for a lot of money.
Well, the number one purpose that people use their phones for is to check the time.
Believe it or
Right?
not, that's true.
That is true. So Apple just heard that, like, why don't we just, instead of them having it in their pockets, put it on their wrist? It's
Yeah.
an amazing new concept. You can look at your wrist and find out what time it is.
Well, but it's been in development.
brilliant.
It's been in development for years, and it's probably going to be sort of the next wave. Like it might replace phones. It's like Dick Tracy time. I know that seems weird, but I think that eventually stuff like this, you're not going to just wear it on your wrist. It'll just be a part of your fucking body. and
It'll
you
be
won't even-
implanted
yeah.
under your
Well,
flesh. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, we're going to have the singularity in 50 years, and we'll all be robot people with robot brains.
True, but I mean,
At that point, we'll
eventually,
need watches.
eventually you will have little like chips and shit in your skin, and you'll just have contact lenses, and you'll just see the world of the computer in front of you, and you can put skins for Harry Potter on all the buildings that you see around.
When
This is fucking gonna happen.
Harry
Just wait
Potter
and see.
skins on all the
You can put a
buildings.
Harry Potter skin.
Everything looks like you're at Hogwarts.
I want to see every woman as Emma Watson.
You can. That'll
it'll
happen.
just
I
be
want
like,
that.
I just want tit skins on everything.
Emma
that-
Watson at that age?
Well, no.
In 50 years?
No.
Now that would be impressive.
Emma Watson at age 70.
Exactly.
Actually, by that time she'll be like Dame Emma Watson.
But this technology will be developed for porn first, and then eventually you'll be able to have non-porn skins once the technology exists.
Porn or military. Either,
Yes.
it's kind of up in the air.
Military porn.
Wondering, yeah, military porn. Women in bondage,
Yeah.
in prison.
A while back, I had a repair guy come to the house to work on something, and he had, I think it was probably a Samsung watch, and so he had to take a photograph of something to get a part number, and so he was going to get his phone out, but he made it a point to let me use my watch to do this, and then he does this sort of thing, click, like it made some sound, and I'm like, oh, you want me to ask you about your watch? And so I did, and he told me, yeah, this old thing, I just got it the other day. It's pretty cool.
What a dick.
He's still trapped in my attic. I beat him and took his watch and sold it for a lot of money.
So anyway, final thoughts. Apple Watches.
Well, the thing that people aren't really getting about this isn't at the moment mass marketed to most people like that would buy an iPhone or whatever. I mean, some models are, but a lot of these are advertised to the people who buy Rolexes and shit to begin with, like really expensive. That's the only reason anybody would pay $10,000 for this thing. It's the same people who buy Rolexes but want a smartphone built into their Rolex.
Same people who bought like the diamond encrusted iPhones or whatever.
Precisely, the solid gold case one,
Yeah,
etc. Yeah, it's a weird thing that Apple's doing, and they're going to have the shittier, probably like Tyco type of watch equivalent that you can buy for $200.
You know, they realize that their products are primarily just a status symbol, so why not make them actually literally a status symbol?
All right. Well, a little bit of advice for anyone who buys an Apple Watch: don't go in the New York subway. Just saying.
Don't go outside.
Wear long sleeves.
Yeah, or just keep your hand like in a giant steel case.
Better yet, just don't go to New York.
Zoolander!
Those of you who are the most wonderful people in the world and have subscribed to us on Subbable and given us recurring donations or one-time donations, whatever it may be, we are moving from Subbable to Patreon, and all the information about that move is going to be in a special video that we're making. Click here, go check that out. You're going to want to cash out of Subbable and move over to Patreon. And if you haven't been over on Subbable, go check out our Patreon page, because we exist because of you guys, because of your support on a monthly basis. That's the reason we're able to keep making videos and keep at this. It's because of you guys, and we really appreciate that, and we hope you'll move from Subbable, if you're already over there, to Patreon. And if you haven't, go check out Patreon. They're going to match any donations made for like probably the first month or so, 1-to-1. Donate like $5, they'll donate $5 of their own. It's going to be a really good start for us over there. So please consider that. All the links are in the description or flashing across the screen. And thank you for your support, all of our Subbable subs. Guys, I have a really, really important topic I'd like to discuss. Yeah, know it's supposed to be a funny podcast.
Yeah, we don't usually get too real with you, but this time I think we need to.
This is a big deal. A lot of people are talking about this.
Are you getting married?
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
I need a new coffee pot.
It's time.
No, I'm serious.
He is.
What's wrong with your old one?
It leaks. It's not very fast.
It's his old shitty
These
pot.
guys come up here from Chicago every week or two, and we stay for a couple days, and we record stuff.
Yeah.
And usually the reason we're here for a couple days is because of his coffee pot.
They have to wait for the coffee to be made.
Yeah.
Every
Like
morning.
we start it when we get here, and by the third day it's ready.
So anyway, I need to get a new coffee pot.
Yeah.
Any sort of advice you've got? I mean, go.
Go to any store and just buy one.
Okay, but no,
don't get a Keurig because those things pollute the earth.
And they suck.
used to have one of those because I got it for free and I didn't like it.
Then he gave it to me, and I got rid of it because I didn't like it.
You want to know what I did when I needed a new coffee pot? And I was in your same shoes. I actually broke the carafe of our old coffee pot.
Oh, God.
Nice word usage.
Yeah. And, you could probably get another one of those, but I didn't like our coffee pot, so I just threw the whole thing out in the garbage. I actually threw it in the recycling bin. You can do that with appliances now. So I went on Amazon.com, and I typed coffee maker, and then I sort by popularity, and then I sorted by price and popularity, and I found one that was the most popular one in my budget. And then what I did was I bought it.
You're going to have to try to say that a little slower.
Okay.
Wait.
So
I want to know what Morgan Freeman did when he needed a new coffee pot.
Because I'm not sure we're following.
Oh, yes. Well, when I needed a new coffee pot, I went on the computer. Now, I know it sounds strange, but computers are connected to something called the internet. And the internet is a wide web of information and commerce. You can go on and you can see coffee pots, and you can purchase one. And so, yes, there's pornography and coffee pots.
Are there porno coffee pots?
No.
Can you fuck the coffee pots?
I suppose if you had a hankering for some burnt up dick, you could probably fuck a coffee pot.
Okay.
Burn your tiny penis off. You'll singe it, and you'll have blisters, and you probably wouldn't have an orgasm. You'd have a sorgasm.
It sounds really nice when you talk about it, Morgan.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Soothing.
It does sound
I kind of want to fuck a coffee pot.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
But
When you get the new one, we can have fun with the old one.
why are you whispering?
I
I
don't.
don't want anybody to hear this.
Why? We're doing a podcast.
They can't hear me.
Okay, so
Whispering.
here's the thing, though. Like, it would be great because, like, I have my own coffee that I specifically like, but these guys don't like it as much. It's like half decaf. I can't take too much caffeine or it fucks me up.
You're
Yeah.
weird.
He's gonna die.
So yeah, I'm gonna die soon. So
Then we can do a podcast. We open up with him.
Oh, that'd be
Aaron
awesome.
died.
is there a coffee pot that maybe has like a twin conjoined coffee pot that you could like
why would you want that?
do 2 coffees at once?
Why don't you get 2 fucking
I
coffee
don't
pots?
want 2 coffee pots. It's
Why?
too much space. What if there was a little one that had 2 sides?
Maybe a double-decker coffee pot.
And it needs to be quick. So I need recommendations. Leave me in the comments some recommendations. Funny like jokes about how stupid I am is fine too. I don't care. But so yeah, like I want it to be fast. I want it to be
Convenient.
convenient.
You
And
can't
cheap.
you can't beat a French press for convenience and speed.
All right.
So I would recommend that.
Christopher Walken, does he have a French press?
Yeah, I got 3 French presses. They're at my garage. I keep them out there because I got cockroaches in my house. They're always knocking things off the shelves. So I keep my French presses in the garage.
Chris, can I have one of your French presses?
No,
Why not?
because they're mine. I need all 3 of them. I brew my own coffee.
What kind?
Coffee, you know.
Colombian?
No. Jamaican mostly.
Jamaican coffee.
Yeah, from the Blue Mountain green bud. Well, rosebud.
You grow weed in your shed.
Yeah.
They're not French presses at all, are they?
No,
You've
they're-
got a pot.
They're bongs. I got 3 bongs.
Nothing beats a bong for coffee.
Yeah. I don't drink it. I just smoke it.
Well,
Awesome.
yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. That's really helpful. I can't wait to get a new coffee maker.
That was the worst topic ever.
No. Sometimes I think it's fun for us to talk about like personal things a little
That's
bit.
true.
You know,
Things
just,
that are going on in our lives.
people like to know that
Alright.
we're not just complete losers. That we have like coffee makers.
Yeah, you should put on the screen like what kinds of coffee the people like. Like you like what kind of coffee? Half calf?
Half calf. I like a little. Sometimes I like flavored coffee.
Yeah. You like a hazelnut blends?
Yeah, hazelnut's good.
Yeah,
It needs to be mild though, because I got a weird stomach sometimes.
Yeah, what's your deal?
Not decaf, but I like specific flavored coffees. Like a lot of stuff Dunkin' Donuts makes. You know, like when they do weird ones like apple pie. You know, stuff
Yeah,
like
sure.
that.
What do you like?
I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
What variety?
The coffee that they have at Dunkin' Donuts.
Just the dark
I like
black?
going to Dunkin' Donuts and asking them for coffee, and then whatever they give me, I drink.
See, and I like dark roast and unflavored. I can't fathom flavored coffee.
So you're on like that end. He's on the other end where he likes the extreme flavored
Yeah.
shit, which
Yeah.
makes me just retch.
So why are you drinking coffee? Why don't you just eat a fucking pie?
Yeah,
I can also drink dark like bland coffee, but
Because
why
he's
not
dark
enjoy the
coffee
extra
is
flavor?
not bland.
Not bland. All right, I
coffee.
apologize,
It's
but like,
bold
it's
as
not
shit.
flavored in any specific way. I can do that and enjoy it and be perfectly fine with it. Hell, I did it.
I
earlier.
like my coffee so dark that you lose your humanity when you stare into your
Here's
cup.
the thing. I try not to actually eat pie for weight reasons. So
Same.
you have a semblance of it of what you're missing when you have the coffee.
I'll
version.
eat the fuck out of a pie.
I would
that's
love to eat a
pretty
pie,
clear.
but I don't need bigger these.
I don't care.
Yeah, man. Like to me, coffee and beer are kind of similar. Like they have very distinct flavors.
Yeah.
That most people would say that is objectively not a very tasty flavor.
Yeah,
Like-
like Bud Light, not a beer.
What about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Favorite coffee?
Yeah, come on. Sometimes when Maria and I were married, you know, she would say, "Go down and get me a cup of coffee." And I'd have to kill 5 terrorists down the stairs. I'd slide down the banister and get out, down now. What you doing? God, and then I'd get the coffee and come back upstairs and fuck the maid, and then I would give Maria her cup of coffee.
Did you ever find out anybody in the house was actually like people who worked there, like they weren't terrorists?
You know, this is the first time anyone has ever asked me that. I don't know. I buried them all in the backyard, and I fucked the maid.
Now we're really done. So, this next topic is kind of fun. Did you guys know that Sony gets hacked every day?
By me!
Well, you're one of them.
Recently, in an interview, Shuhei Yoshida, the current head of the PlayStation division, was asked about that, and he said, "Oh yeah, we get hacked all the time, every day." And basically, it's sad because this company, not only Sony, but other companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, etc., Steam probably, they have to put up with putting so many resources in simply protecting their service that they can't necessarily focus that much on making new features and other things. So it's just shitty.
However, you said that Sony has more difficulty with dealing with it.
Well, they were the ones who were more honest about it, and they're more famous for it because of that hack with the interview and all that shit.
But apparently other companies are actually able to protect themselves, where Sony is just kind of
it definitely happens to them way more often than it happens to anybody else.
I wonder if that's more like people target them more, or if they're just worse at preventing that.
Well, the general consensus is they're just worse at dealing with it.
Yeah. Because
if you're Zenith, you're just like, anybody call today? No? Yeah, they're like, hey, will you call the boy who works down in the mailroom? Because my email's not working. I need to... How do you send a picture?
He's sitting at a typewriter. There's no email.
He quit 10 years ago.
Oh.
Well, you know why people do the hacking is not necessarily just because, they hate the company and they want to screw them over. But, I mean, hackers, a lot of times, it's kind of like a job interview in a way. You know what I mean? It's like adding to their resume.
That's what they think, because a lot of movies portray that. But the reality is, when they get caught, they generally just go to prison. Like, really rarely do they get like, "Oh, you hacked us, welcome aboard." Like, there are certain competitions where a company will say, "Here's all the firewalls we created. Now we want hackers to go nuts, and if you get through all our shit, we are hiring you." But when you hack an actual company who isn't doing that, more often than not, when you get caught, prison.
It's like
and butt fucking.
I'd like to be the CEO at a bank. I'm gonna go like rob the bank and steal all their money, and just to prove that I could be the CEO.
Yeah, like it's not a good tactic.
Or I want to work at McDonald's. You get like so you go in and punch somebody in the face and be like, can I be hired?
Imagine how much cooler stuff we'd have, and imagine how much cheaper things would be. If as a society we didn't have to spend so much time and money trying to keep dishonest people from fucking with everything.
Yeah,
that's kind of the point. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, yeah, if they didn't have to sink so much into preventing hacking and fixing problems and building firewalls, if grocery stores or chain stores or whoever didn't have to put up with so much fucking shrinkage from thieves, like, they'd be able to offer things at a lower price. And it's too bad. That's why I'm all in favor of public executions. I'm all in favor of
bring it back.
Yeah. Thing is, what we're talking about now is we're talking about like human nature. This shit's been going on forever. This is like if people were less douchey about things, then security would just be relaxed in general. And then the one guy to figure out, oh, you know what? I can just be a douchebag. He would, be king of the fucking world.
Well, unless he was executed in a field with a hammer.
That's Super Bowl.
You find, well, you just replace the Super Bowl with the executions. But you find that, like, if you have a genetic predisposition for thievery and you're taken out of the gene pool, then, eventually you'll get to a point. And this is all common sense, people.
Of course.
Eventually get to a point where just the honest people
Sounds
are
like
remaining.
1830s.
Yeah.
You should run for president.
I think that eventually some of the honest people would start to like take the place of the do-badders.
Well, then we'll execute them.
Yeah, well,
Zero tolerance policy in Jason's world.
We do have a population problem, so I'm with Jason.
It's either that or just make some more flus that we don't have immunity to.
Make flus.
Make some flus.
Well, you guys are joking, right?
I think we would all be executed, unfortunately, if public executions for whatever reason.
Oh, they'd get to us way long down the line.
Be like, oh, you impersonate Obama? Dead.
What? No.
Yeah.
You're done, man.
Come on, Obama,
You're
tell us.
your identity theft of all these different people.
I'm just look.
Tell us why you would kill people who impersonate you.
Well, because it's fun.
It hurts my feelings.
Oh wait, what? Why am I
Why
telling?
would Obama execute people who impersonate him? Or,
Because it's rude, and this is a good way to show people that I'm not a wimp. I don't. George Herbert Walker Bush suffered from the wimp factor, and a lot of Democrats have suffered from it as well. And so, if you just execute a few people who portray you playing video games, boy, you'll get a big bump in your approval rating.
All right, well, we're on to our opinion piece for the podcast.
Yeah.
And today's opinion, clickbait. It exists all over the internet. We hate it. We see it everywhere. All the bullshit in the sidebars of all the websites we go to where they put a picture of something that's not going to be what you find when you go there. And it's bullshit. It sucks. And this happens on YouTube sometimes. YouTube now, to some extent, punishes people who use clickbait. However, I think that there is a gray area with clickbait. Now, for example, very occasionally we put a video up that has a picture that isn't exactly, when you see it, you think, oh, that'll be in the video, and it's not exactly that. So, but we don't put things in our stills for our videos that are nothing like what's going to be in the video. They always have something to do with what's going to be in the video. So I don't really consider them clickbait. There's a fine line between trying to get people to click on your video and watch it, and then exaggerating, what they're going to find in the video and giving them in line, basically.
Yeah.
And you have to straddle that all the time as a video creator because getting people to click on your video is really fucking hard. If you don't make the title something that immediately or it makes people want to click on it and watch it, then they just won't watch your video. They'll be like, busy, I gotta watch other videos. I don't know what the fuck this is. Screw it.
Well, that's why clickbait was invented. It's an attempt to get people to click on something that they would normally not because it's really fucking hard to catch people's attention.
Right.
So it's colorful and has boobs on it. Or, just some, crazy dude's face, to make a weird face.
It's a huge exaggeration of what you're actually going to find.
Yeah.
And most of the time you won't get rewarded for clicking on it. But YouTube's created a system where if you do that with your video still and your title, and people go to watch your video and then click off in the first few seconds of the video because they're like, oh, this is bullshit, they'll punish you and they'll hide your video. It won't be monetized for any money. But if people watch your video for halfway through or all the way to the end, then they're like, oh, well, this isn't actually clickbait. They just made a fairly good video.
Right.
That,
they needed to catch people's attention with a thumbnail for.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
One of the things that I don't like about clickbait, and this is becoming more and more popular, and it's all boils down to page views, I suppose, but you might see an article that says, obviously this isn't YouTube stuff, but you might see an article that says 10 things that every guy needs to know about his testicles, and I'll click on that. I'm interested. I don't know a lot about them. So I click on it, and then you go to the next page, and then it's thing number 1, and it's a picture of a ball sack, and there's no text, and you got to click next, and then the text pops up.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you got to click next to get to 2, and next to click to... You go through 20 pages, right? And they're making ad revenue on every page, right? So that's the part of it. That's one thing that I really don't like. But that also highlights there's 3 things at work here with clickbait. There's marketing, there's information, and there's entertainment. If your website has a lot of great entertainment on it, you don't need clickbait. People will come and they'll watch your shit. If you have great information on your website that's accurate, people will come and they'll find the information, hopefully. But if you're just a bunch of marketing tool bags, go fuck yourself. Learn how to entertain or inform, and go fuck yourself in the meantime.
As a general rule, just don't go to BuzzFeed. Anything they say, anything they do, ignore it.
They're making money hand over fist at BuzzFeed.
Yeah, because it's all clickbait. 100%. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So, but we put out a video a little while ago called "Licking Sadia."
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's Skyrim for Pimps. And so there's a still. Sadia does not do that in the video. However, we included that still as part of the story, a part of telling the story in the video. It's in the video multiple times and actually plays a role in what one of the characters is doing in the video. So I don't consider that clickbait. I just consider it something we incorporated in the story. And why wouldn't we put something that is in the video, even if it was symbolic, as a way of like explaining to people like this is what this video is about.
Yeah.
And this is why, and get them excited to watch it, because I still think the video delivers. It isn't like going to one of those sites where you have to click 20 times on some bullshit. Those websites don't even load half the time. I just like never go to them now.
Yeah.
They're going to have to come up with better techniques to, get a lot of us to click on shit like that.
We get hassled about this a lot on one particular video, which is Skyrim for Pimps Sex with Ayala. Because everyone, apparently, that video has like 2 million views and most videos we
More than that, no.
Yeah, most videos we have like, a few thousand. And most people go there because they think they're actually going to see glorified cartoon characters have sex with each other. And they think that we did that on purpose. The irony is, the whole episode is about the main character trying to have sex with Ayala. That's why we titled it that.
That's what the video's about.
And yet we're constantly accused of that. And I always point out, we have another one called Sex with George Lucas. Do you think we use that as clickbait? Nobody wants to watch anybody fuck George Lucas.
But that was what the episode was about.
That was what it was about. It was a guy trying to have sex with George Lucas.
And guess what? It didn't get as many hits.
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, there's a part of us that knows, it's like, if we title something Sex with Ayala, it's probably going to get more views.
And we do actually go out of our way to not title all the videos based on sexual things that happen in the videos, because we don't want to be stupid like that. And I don't think we're being stupid by titling stuff like that if it's legit, but
it's a double-edged sword.
We know that people don't like that, and so we kind of, it's a double-edged sword, exactly.
It's a double-edged sword because we also know that if we just make a legitimately good episode and it was called like, running around and fighting or something, then and it had a picture of like the main character just like looking badass. People are fuck it, I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah. Same exact video, could be the exact same video, but people won't watch it.
And that video is one of our best ones. Sex with Ayala is one of our best Skyrim for Pimps episodes. And it has brought in so many subscribers,
right?
Because they'll click on it, possibly most likely that they're going to watch
simulated cartoon sex.
Yeah, but they'll sit there, and in the first minute, there's some really funny jokes, and then they decide to watch it all the way through. And some of them will say, "Look, I came here expecting to see Ayla's tits bouncing around, but instead I got a hilarious fucking show, and now I want to subscribe."
That'll happen constantly, and we're very appreciative. But every once in a while, you'll get some fucktard who's like, "Hey, I wanted to watch them have sex, alright? And I didn't get it. This is clickbait, fuck you." And we're like, I'm sorry you're that much of a virgin. Like, Jesus. Like, who gives a shit? Go look at actual tits. Or talk to a woman. Stop trying to watch cartoons. Fuck.
Yeah.
Presumably you have the internet.
Yeah, obviously. you have access to actual boobs.
Oh, man. I think that clickbait in and of itself isn't a bad thing. What's the bad thing is the false advertising. And clickbait can be false advertising, but it also can be just something that baits you into clicking it, which isn't bad,
It can be good motivation.
Yeah.
Or it can be, really annoying. And for the most part, it's really annoying.
Yeah, for the most part. Especially because so much of it's false advertisement.
Except you won't believe what happens next. It'll restore your faith in humanity.
Yeah, one of the
number 5 fucking blew my dick.
Wow.
Yeah, the CEO of Comcast grabs a kitten, and you won't believe what happens next.
Yeah, you won't believe it.
Yeah, the still, do for the still, me with the sword, and then Photoshop a kitten in here.
And then put Kim Kardashian's ass behind you.
Yeah.
And say like, you will get laid if you click this. Yeah. Or something, yeah. And then it's just video footage of Emery playing golf or something.
I don't know.
Then that would be a legitimate clickbait.
Yeah.
There's got to be one person, though, who goes through the clickbait and they're like, I'm going to see Kim Kardashian's ass. and he gets his pants down and he gets all set, and then Emery starts playing golf, and the guy's like, okay.
10 out of 10, wood fat.
Oh well. I'm in a hurry. I gotta go to work later.
I really like how he uses 9-iron.
Might as well.
Did you guys know that I did a golfing?
No, I just
Video?
made that up.
Oh.
Like
You
a
should watch it.
actual
It's pretty
out,
sexy.
out on a golf course.
Yeah,
What's the title?
I'm just
What's the
out.
still?
I'm wearing a kilt. I got a beard, and I'm shirtless, and I'm just golfing.
Title and still, what are they?
Kim Kardashian's ass and Kim Kardashian's ass.
All right, I'm in. Hey, wait a minute.
Are you actually going to stab a kitten?
No.
Are you actually going to have Kim Kardashian's ass in the video?
No, this is a thing that happened.
Clickbait.
It's already
unsubbed.
there. Okay.
Hey, do you like role-playing games? Do you like watching mildly funny people play role-playing games? Well, we have a show on Blame Society Films. It's called Rated RPG, and we play role-playing games. Recently, we played a Doctor Who role-playing game. We've got one coming up where we play a role-playing game called Gangbusters, which is 1920s
Role-playing game.
role-playing nastiness with criminals and mobsters. It's a lot of fun. Check that out on Blame Society Films. We have a lot of fun playing that, and in the Doctor Who episode, I used a lot of sound effects. I sound like a robot. It's pretty cool. You should maybe go watch that.
Role-playing games.
I have my own channel. You can follow me at youtube.com/Adam Koralik. It'll be right there. I talk about all sorts of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Clickbait. It's all
Clickbait. I'll
Yeah.
have just a picture.
A picture of tits.
Yeah, tits.
Adam talks
Okay.
about tits. That's all he talks about.
Click here to see Kim Kardashian bang you.
He touches them too
Yeah.
while he's
all
talking.
the whole video.
Go watch that.
You can find me at Pornhub.
Mr. Jason Stevens on
You can follow me on Twitter. It's Twitter, and then my handle is Mr. Jason Stevens. That's Mr. Jason Stevens.
And lastly, we, of course, are having a little contest. If you want to win a Game Society Pimps postcard signed by all of us here at this table, you can do that. Leave a comment. Suggest what you'd like to see us talk about in a future podcast. And the selected person will win a signed postcard from the GSP guys. And leave us a comment about anything you want. We like to hear from you guys, and especially in these videos where we talk about all the stuff.
The comment should be an opinion subject.
Sure, whatever.
Yep, and the opinion shouldn't be you guys are faggots or something
Yeah.
stupid like that.
That's not, because we're not going to discuss that.
We all know that already. Alright, so we don't need to talk about it.
We've heard that so many times.
We got it.
We live on the internet. We know.
Clickbait, fag, idiot, douche, we got it.
I've been a faggot since before your mom had tits.
Thanks for joining us for this podcast. I believe our president has a few final words.
Folks, as you go off into the world and greet people from other cultures, I want you to remind them that you are an American and that you're better than they are.
What if they're from Tasmania?
Yeah, what if they're from other countries?
Even if they're from better cities than you live in. Even if they work out and you just eat Popeye's chicken all the time. I think just say, I'm better than you, and run away. Good night.
Views expressed by President Obama do not reflect the Game Society Pimps and our feelings towards other countries.
Put some butter on your biscuit.
Except Canada.
Except Canada.
What does that mean?
I hate Canada.